This week on Fly Rod Chronicles, we're doing some native brook trout fishing in our state of West Virginia. First, we're going to one of my favorite restaurants, Jimbo's place. After that, we're heading up to Kumbrabow State Park, and we're going to see some stream enhancement that's taking place right here on this creek. We're meeting up with Tyler Wiley and Steve Brown, and we're going to geek out on some of these fish. So I think you're going to love this show. Stick around.
Traveling the world, fishing, enjoying the great outdoors. Those are things that would have seemed impossible to me when I was a kid growing up in the mountains of West Virginia. I'm a lucky man, and I never want to forget it, and I'm hoping that sharing my experiences with folks will inspire them to do the same. I'm Curtis Fleming, and these are my Fly Rod Chronicles.
This week on Fly Rod Chronicles, we're in my home state of West Virginia, and we're driving through the hills here. This is a show I'm really excited about. We get to reconnect with a good friend of mine, Steve Brown. We did some restoration efforts up on Upper Shavers Fork, and Steve's going to tell us about some of this native brookie trout fishing and the restoration that they've done up there. Also, we're getting ready to do a little meet and greet at Jimbo's here in Buchanan, and looking forward to stopping by there and get some good food. And they're going to pack some food up for us and make it a little easy on us for the next couple days. So we're going up to Kumbrabow State Park. Kumbrabow is a place that my parents used to take me, and so I'm looking forward to heading up there. You can't move around in there, you know? What did we do? I thought I was in trouble. Oh man, I get an official Jim.
And a beer koozie.
And a beer koozie. Wait a minute. Our TV's a family show. Gatorade. Yeah. I could get them as a sponsor, right?
Hell yeah.
Man, thank you,
Hey,
brother.
Ghost Energy drink.
Hey,
That's Scott Parks. Ghost Energy.
Food was unbelievable, brother. Huh? Seriously. All right, we're leaving Jimbo's place, and now we're headed over to Kumbrabow State Park to meet up with Tyler Wiley and Steve Brown. So Steve, good to be back doing something cool, huh?
Good to see you again, Curtis.
Yes, sir. Yeah, last project we were on Upper Shavers Fork.
Yep.
And
that was, gosh, I don't even remember how many years old
maybe
ago it was.
15 years ago?
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, and that was a successful.
Yeah, it was.
Yeah.
It was.
And so you're gonna share with Tyler on a project and what you guys did down here.
Yeah, it's was an aquatic habitat enhancement project here on Mill Creek at Kumbrabow, and in cooperation West Virginia DNR Wildlife and Parks, and West Virginia Division of Forestry. We worked here 3 years, 2014, 15, 16. Took some storm damaged trees that had fallen, and built a lot of wood, in-stream wood enhancements. here,
Nice.
or brook trout.
Well, Tyler knows, you know, with his father being in the parks, everybody knows how hard the DNR and everybody, and it takes a full team.
Does, and that was one of the most rewarding parts of the work, was not only doing what we did for the fish, but being able to work with parks and forestry. You know, they both have a presence here. Parks, the recreation side, and forestry, the forest management.
Yeah.
Working with those folks focused on brook trout and brook trout habitat was just great.
Yeah.
It was just a lot of fun.
Yeah. Nice, very nice. Very nice. So it's hard for people that don't understand brook trout fishing, blue line
How
fishing.
anybody could be satisfied with a fish that small.
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
yeah,
But that's what's here, or that's what was here and what is here.
right.
Their average life expectancy is probably 3-4 years. 4 years probably stretching it.
Yeah,
And these waters, these headwater streams in West Virginia are very, very low in nutrients. In these headwater brook trout streams, there's very little aquatic insect biomass in here. The greatest percentage of brook trout's diet here is probably terrestrials from whatever falls in.
yeah, yeah,
Without much food,
yeah,
you're going to get something a little smaller than
yeah.
than if if they have regular access to a smorgasbord.
That's right. And then you throw in Mother Nature, the floods,
Flash floods and
yeah, the droughts and
acid precipitation, acid
Yeah.
snowfall and whatnot. This is one of the streams that DNR puts limestone sand in
nice.
to help support and sustain water quality suitable for brook trout.
So Tyler, you grew up, your family was in the state parks. You didn't follow the state parks line, but you weren't too far off, right?
Not too far off, and I think there's still a number of people that are still hoping that I'm gonna take my own park here at some point.
Nice.
But no, currently I worked for county government and emergency operations for a little while, and I worked in low-level management in Cabela's Bass Pro for a few years. You know, just to sell fish and stuff. But now I'm back in with the DNR, and I'm doing. I work for the Office of Land and Streams down in Charleston, and I do work with stream permitting, which is kind of kind of appropriate, for what we're doing out here. I do regulatory permitting work. There he is. Open that here.
Yeah, pretty little fish. Not that little for here. That's about average for here. Yeah, yeah.
Well, one of the things I love about getting out and finally finding, a new population is every single population of these fish, depending on how the stream conditions are, they all look different.
Yep.
Some are darker, some are lighter. When you start to get to these higher elevations and you get more tannic acid in the water,
They're dark as coal.
yeah, and you get more brown backs with pink bellies instead of green backs with orange bellies.
Dinner tonight?
Hey, fixing up a few hamburgers, some hot dogs. It's after Memorial Day weekend, so it's summertime. So what a better thing to do than grill out a few hamburgers and hot dogs?
Yeah, yeah. Well, I notice you're doing this not by candlelight, but
No, we're old
Gaslight.
school. We're running off a lantern lights that's plumbed into the cabin itself. So
yeah. These cabins right here, I mean, they weren't built yesterday, were they?
No. As a matter of fact, they're going on 100 years old now.
Wow.
Kumbrabow, like most of the other state parks in West Virginia, was a CCC project. Part of the New Deal Act in the 30s, and so a lot of that stone work, and even in a lot of these streams, some of the original stream enhancement projects were CCC as well.
That's crazy. I mean, and for people that want to do primitive camping, that's pretty much what's here. Do you agree?
Yeah, absolutely. Well, and you get a mix in different places. Some of them have very modern cabins, even with internet, television, everything like that. And then sometimes you have instances like this where you don't even really have electricity, and you got to go get your own water. And to some people that would seem, but for me, that's fantastic.
I'm with you. I like it. Yeah. So if you're wondering why Tyler's line's in the water, He did make a bad cast and he got caught on a rock. So he invited Steve to make a cast in the pool because he didn't want to booger up the hole. You know what? This is just true sportsmanship right here.
This is maybe a little bit more than enhancement right here. We built this structure about a decade ago, and it's an actual structure. I mean, it's got two log wings and a center section that most of the water is designed to go through that center section. This is called a cross vein. And what makes it work, it's designed, the goal of a cross vein is essentially to funnel the water into the center and take a section of stream that may be a little over wide and narrow it up, because all that water, you know, has to go somewhere. As it narrows up, it's got to go deeper, so it scours.
Yep.
So the center part of a cross vein is designed to scour and keep maintain a fairly deep pool below the center.
Right.
We've built, in the process of the work we did here, we built 50 some odd enhancements over about 3.5 miles of stream.
Color there.
You know, Tyler, you got to fish with, I mean, I'm pretty partial, but I think Steve Brown is one of our best fishermen, most knowledgeable. I mean, we got so many in our state, but Steve's up there.
Yeah, and I'm sure there's a whole lot that he could teach me, and of course it's different when you're on your home water, and then on top of that, it's even more different when you helped build it. You know, that just brings a whole new level of knowing your clients.
Yeah,
you know.
Yeah. Well, I noticed you picked up a few things just fishing with him yesterday, and he was kind of coaching you from back behind.
Yep,
and,
absolutely.
Yeah, and I just picked up stuff watching him, you know,
absolutely.
Instruct you.
Well,
Yeah.
and that's what it takes when you've got, right now we've got low flow and very clear water. These are spooky fish.
Yeah.
They're spooky fish right now, and sometimes, you just need someone to come in over your shoulder and go, hey, I bet this is what they'll go for.
Yeah, yeah.
Yeah, it's been great, and thank you for inviting me down here
Sure.
so that we could go around and see if we couldn't experience some new water.
Absolutely.